Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Me, I think I'm doing bank holidays wrong. Rather than returning after a 3-day break feeling revitalised and refreshed, I actually feel every bit as tired today as I did on Friday. But we soldiered on. I'm very sorry to hear that Quinto Crane Hire has gone into administration today. Although cranes are on the very periphery of my industry vision, the company did actually make a foray into the field of demolition back in 2015, and I paid them a visit at the time. Really great bunch of guys with real ambition. So sorry to hear the news there. We are living, unfortunately, in challenging times and uncertain times as well, as I'm sure you will hear from our very special guest, Mr. Neil Edwards, a bit later in the show. Now, we've got a lot to get through between now and then. So, without further ado, let me post the question of the day, roll the intro, and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It's Tuesday, the 3rd of May, and as that remarkably persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, an awkward acquisition falls at the last hurdle. How technology is bridging the gap. We're looking ahead to the Hillhead show again with our latest Hillhead Highlight, and we're checking out Downwell Demolition's latest project in Colchester. Plus, as I've already mentioned, we will be joined later in the show by Builders Conference CEO Neil Edwards as we look back at the construction contract awards for the month of April 2022. We'll get to all of that in just a second, but first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And it's many happy returns to crooner Bing Crosby and to one of the greatest boxers of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson. Happy birthday also to the godfather of soul, singer James Brown, to Four Seasons singer Frankie Valli, and to British boxer Henry Cooper. To Connie Plank, the producer of the Ultravox album Vienna, which you might, actually it's there, you might be able to see that behind me. And it's also happy birthday to actor, comedian, author Ben Elton, and to one half of 80s band Soft Cell keyboard player David Bell. Many happy returns to them, one and all. Those fine folks at Auction House Ritchie Brothers have been keen supporters of this show pretty much from the outset. As a result, we were the first, or among the first, to bring you the news that the company was planning to acquire its auction rival, Euro Auctions. We were also among the first to break the news that the planned acquisition was to be investigated by the Competition and Markets Authority, or the CMA as they're known. So it seems only right that we should close that loop with the news that the planned acquisition is now officially off. Here's Ritchie Brothers' Matt Ackley to explain why.
We're extremely disappointed, right, with the news. I mean, when we first started talking to the Euro Auctions folks, as we talked about throughout the process, we shared a common sense of purpose, a common culture. Unfortunately, the CMA, or the Competition Market Authority in the UK, in our view, took a very narrow view of our respective businesses. So when they looked at what they call the market, right, they looked at it as, hey, your market is just the market for live auction services in the UK for construction equipment. Now, throughout, the past 4, 5, 6 years at Ritchie Brothers, and even on the Euro auction side, I think, as we've discussed in the past, we view the market that we participate in very much differently. It's much broader market, right? We view basically the market being a $300 billion plus global market for, buying and selling of used equipment. And, as we've talked about for years, the buying and selling of used equipment takes place in many different ways, right? It's done through classified listings, it's done through private sales, it's done through auctions, it's done through online marketplaces, it's done through trade-ins. I could go on and on and on. And, we really look at that as the entire market for, what we participate in. However, the CMA, took a very, very narrow view of the situation. And, as we looked at the CMA process and, what we offered, even during the phase 1 process, it just became clear that it was going to be, that it was going to be very, very difficult to work within those confines. As we go forward now, we'll just resume to what we were doing before, same on the Euro auction side, continue with the businesses as we were always running them. And thank you for having me today. And it's a pleasure coming to you from the spiritual home of Ritchie Brothers here in actually very nice and warm, sunny Northern Canada.
That interview was actually carried out by my construction collective colleague, Peter Haddock. He's produced a longer version of that film, which is currently uploading to his LinkedIn channel. It wasn't there when I came on here this morning, but it may well be by now. So pop over to LinkedIn and search for Peter Haddock if you want to see the full version. If you'd like to know more, you can also find an official statement over on Peter's LinkedIn channel. I've just posted a link. I think I've posted a link. Have I posted a link? No, I don't appear to have done. Not entirely sure what's gone wrong there. Bear with me 1 second. The gremlins are in the system this morning. Oh, no, it is there. It's just popped up. If you have a look in the chat, you can see the full statement from the fine folks at Ritchie Brothers that explains exactly where it all went sadly wrong. Not entirely sure that's for the better of the industry. It doesn't feel like it to me, but hey, what do I know? Let's get the show back on the road. Okay, it's time for a little demolition light relief. We're off to Colchester in the company of Downwell Demolition. Now, we're actually going to be bringing you an exclusive report from Downwell Demolition very soon, so keep watching for that. It's now just 49 days until the mighty Hillhead exhibition throws open its doors once again. So it's time to look ahead at one of the companies that will be displaying its wares. This is a company that's been at the show in previous years, but always as part of a display from one of its dealers or importers. But this year, MB Crusher will be there under its own power and will have its own stand. And this is just one of the products that will be on display.
They might look like digging buckets, but they are capable of so much more. MB Crusher continues to expand its range of hydraulic attachments with the new MB HDS 207 and the MB HDS 212 shaft screeners, both shaped as a digging bucket and designed to work with mini and midi excavators from 1.3 to 2.8 tons and from 5 to 10 ton. We were invited by the company, Edil Mechanica, to observe the new attachments working on the renovation of Sant'Egidio farmhouse in Aquileia, Italy. Both models feature a new design, making it optimal for smaller construction sites. The MB HDS 207 and MB HDS 212 have several features in common. Greasing is centralized, and the transmission is protected by a fixed cover, which stops material from infiltrating in the bucket's gear. To protect the bolts and side casings, we've introduced welded covers on the back of the attachment. Additionally, the coupler connection is in a lower position than the rest of the structure and is located in the center of the unit. This optimizes the loading and processing phases, reducing the frame wear while providing greater maneuverability and more control over the whole process. To sum it up, the shafts can be promptly replaced on site, simple maintenance on location, supplied with a shaft holder rack. What's the difference between the two units? A load capacity increase kit is available for the MB HDS 207 to boost its loading ability from 50 to 60 litres. On the other hand, the MB HDS 212 is suitable for skid steers, and its shape is designed so the material can easily travel through the shafts. How do you make these two attachments even more versatile? There are several accessories available: the spare parts kit, the shaft kit holder, the RM mixer kit, RQ15 medium sifting kit for the MB HDS 212 shafts screener only, the RC composting kit, the RE8 and the RE16 fine sifting kits, and the RQ20 and the RQ50 medium sifting kits. When can these two new MB Crusher attachments be used on the field? 4 different application areas: to aerate packed soil, reclaim and clean soil from demolition debris, stones or roots; to sift padding material for pipelines, trenches and backfill. From gardening to construction jobs, the MB HDS 207 and the MB HDS 212 shafts screener always deliver.
If you'd like to see MB Crusher at Hillhead 2022, you will find them on stand Y1. And while you're up there, you might as well swing by to stand W28 to see our next show sponsor.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
Okay, you've got about 5 minutes to get your questions in for our Builders Conference CEO, Neil Edwards. While he readies himself for all of that, we've got a film that shows how technology is being used in the field of bridge construction. Take a look at this.
Fergala Vitos Paving Doku. Smart quality assurance on the Aftertal Bridge. This new steel and concrete bridge spans the Aftertal Valley west of Bad Wünnenberg in Germany at a height of almost 70 meters. It is part of a large-scale project to improve access to the Hochsauerland region. With 785 meters of the new B480 at this lofty level. A 3.5 centimeter thick surface course needed paving on 2 sections ahead of and on top of the Aftertal Bridge. Paving asphalt on a high-level bridge in open terrain is a real challenge because the constant wind quickly cools down the paving material. The perfect window for paving and compaction is correspondingly small. So, to guarantee quality, it was important to coordinate processes on the two 2-kilometer long sections perfectly. Paving temperature also needs checking continuously. Franz Tripper GmbH from Schmallenberg in the Sauerland region used Vögele machines and technologies to achieve this. The Super 1800-3i paver with AB500 TP1 extending screed. The MT3000-3i offset material feeder. And the Vitos Paving Doku digital documentation tool, including the RoadScan non-contacting temperature measuring system and the new JobSite Temp app. The Vitos Paving Doku documentation tool records paving and machine data, with the great advantage that the tool works even when there is no mobile phone signal. The paver itself sets up a Wi-Fi network with a range of approximately 50 meters. Ensuring the data can be recorded and exchanged on the job site at any time and in any place. Supervisor Dennis Voss from Franz Tripper GmbH used a QR code to link his smartphone to the paver before paving commenced. As work proceeds, he is able to check the distance, surface area, quantity and density paved. He can furthermore check how long the order has been running. RoadScan was also used on the job site to check pave temperature. The system's infrared camera is mounted on top of the paver, continuously scanning the asphalt pavement immediately after the screed and measuring temperature across full pave width. The results were displayed not only on the operating console of the paver. The new JobSite Temp app also displayed them on the smartphones of the paving supervisor and the roller operators. Roller operators can likewise use the app to view their own position and distance from the paver, define exclusion zones, and check whether they are working within the correct compaction window. Paving supervisor Dennis Voss is happy. With Vitos Paving Doku and JobSite Temp, we were able to view all the relevant data at all times. The team was impressed by the intuitive use, reliability, and automated documentation of the system. Paving and compaction can be perfectly coordinated, resulting in a high level of paving quality.
It really is a stunning film and some very impressive technology indeed. Now, before I play an ad from our final show sponsor and drag Neil Edwards in from the green room, just a quick heads up. We're going to bring you the usual mix of news, views and video in tomorrow's show, but I have an additional discussion point for you to mull over between now and then. Why do most demolition and construction machines have alphanumeric names rather than actual names? And if you could give any machine an actual name, Dave the Backhoe maybe, what would it be? We will revisit that on tomorrow's show.
Axoft and Svantec are your high-end partners for noise, vibration, dust and air quality systems, sensors and software. To find out more, visit axoft.co.uk or call 01234 639 550.
That just about brings us up to speed. Well, for now at least. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second, and then I'm going to leap over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. And thanks for watching. If you can't stick around, if you can stick around, I'll see you on the other side of this.